Broadcasting is the legal requirement, yeah.
It is my very great pleasure to introduce Rui Manuel Ribeiro do Bastos, known locally to his friends as Rui Bastos, for his doctoral dissertation defense this afternoon. Rui, this is a multinational doctoral dissertation defense, not only because Wolfgang's participation, who's from Austria and speaking in Canada, but Rui was born in Portugal, migrated at an early age, a middle age, to Brazil, did his bachelor's and his master's work at the Federal Institute of Rio Grande do Sul in Brazil. His undergraduate work was in physics, and his master's work was in computer science. He has worked for the Institute of Systems and Computer Engineering in Portugal, for the National Scientific Computer Center in Brazil, and has been here since January of 1995. And I would add my own remark, two remarks. One is, there are some students with whom the advisor collaborates closely in the performance of the research. And there are some students for whom the advisor picks the topic and kind of aims the student in the direction and gives a little advice from time to time. And then there are some students who pick their own topic and set their own direction and do their own work, and the advisor stands by and marvels and may suggest places where the exposition can be corrected, and that's about it. And this is the nature of Rui's work. I would also remark that we have a tradition in this department that the senior graduate students spend a fair amount of their time helping others in the department with their work, and Rui has been a superb exemplar of this tradition, and we will miss him a great deal. However, it is our pleasure to try to get people out of here. So.
Thank you, Dr. Brooks.
Okay, so today I'll talk about my PhD research, which is, the dissertation is entitled Superposition Rendering, a method to provide increased realism for interactive walkthroughs. What's different about this method is how I approached it. It's using a signals and systems approach to light transport, which is rather different. We have seen signals and systems or signal processing applied to computer graphics, but for aliasing and anti-aliasing techniques, but never to approach a problem like light transport. And that's basically what I'll be talking about. My whole dissertation talks about several smaller techniques, but I won't be addressing those in this talk. So let's start by looking at the outline. I'll start just giving an introduction, giving some motivation for the talk and the research that I did. Then I'll go into the physics and math of the light transport problem. Then I'll switch gears to the signals and systems approach that I did to light transport. Then just a very quick linear decomposition of the light transport equation and reduce it to the glossy component, because that's the component I'll be interested in simulating. Then I'll discuss results, conclusions, and future work. So let's start motivating the talk. And what we want to do is to provide interactive photorealistic walkthroughs of scenes like this, as you see here. This is a photograph of a real-world music room. This is not a synthetic image, but that's what we would like to simulate. And we need to capture details in geometry, lighting, shadows, reflections, color bleeding, material properties. And notice, in particular, the glossy reflections on the floor, on the wood floor. You can see, for example, that objects that are close to the floor have a much sharper reflection than objects that are far from the floor. And that's the kind of thing that we'd like to simulate, this kind of glossy reflections on the floor. But we want to capture all these details and still provide interactive rendering. So we need performance. We need our rendering engine to synthesize images really fast.